Okay. Do you have your hand?
I didn't, but I have a question.
Okay. And then I saw a young lady in the back, and I want to ask you guys a question about something. Go ahead.
Okay, so over the weeks, I've heard you say that, as you continue on the narrow path, that you eventually won't have any more thoughts. You'll just have your practical thoughts. So for me personally, I still have thoughts, but I see the thoughts. So
Right.
how do you get to a place where you don't have the thoughts?
By not answering that question.
Okay.
And the reason I'm telling you that because the fact that the devil has you thinking about, well, when will this all end? When will you get to a point where you have no thought? It's spiritual, evil is spiritual, right? And the light of God is spiritual. He is spirit. And he is fighting that for you. And when you get there, you'll just know it. It wouldn't even be a thought. Okay. But what I want to encourage you, and I understand why you ask, because the devil will put that on your mind. Well, how do you get to the point where you have no problem? But you stay on the path, you do the silent prayer, and watch.
Okay.
And then when the fears come or the uncertainty come, you go through it. Don't whine about it. Don't worry about it. Just go through it. And you will see. And because the devil is a dark, wicked spirit that made a mind in your body, and made a home in your intellect and your body, that will be destroyed. Okay. It will go away and you will know it. It will not even be up for a question.
Thank you.
But just be willing to go through it if it takes 100 years. Don't put a time on it or anything.
Okay.
That's a good question. I'm sorry?
Does it take 100 years? No.
I'm sorry?
It doesn't take 100 years, does it?
I said if it should.
Oh, okay.
You should be willing to do it if
Right,
it takes 100
right.
years.
Okay.
But it could take the twinkling of an eye if we had not identified with the false self. We have grown up identified with the not us, and most people, all of us really, until you really, really get on that path and start tasting it, seeing the light, you don't want to turn around. But most people are convinced they need to think something and feel something. They think if they're not feeling anything or thinking that it ain't life. And so I've had a couple of people when I say, keep your mind where your body is, and they'll do it, and there's nothing. They don't feel anything, they don't think anything. They're like, I need to be thinking something, I don't like this. And so they have identified with the false self, and that's why it's hard for them to let that go.
Right.
But if you're willing to lay that down, you can be free already.
Got it.
Yeah.